Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadil Kabir. It's always a pleasure to have you for our political conversations that I usually say I hope will be able to build this country even as we're progressing towards this year's general elections. I'm joined by the one and only Herman Manyora, political analyst, founder, director, Nairobi Review, and this channel. How are you though?
Oh, I'm fine.
Your accent is changing. Who are the people you've been meeting?
I've been meeting serious people from serious places.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking about this country. We are having a conversation with the international groups and teams who want to get to know what's going on in the country in this season.
Okay, today's political conversation, we're speaking about what is happening within UDA's side. They are set to petition the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, saying that ICT CS Joe Musheru should be summoned because of his involvement in Raila Odinga's campaigns. When Raila was in Mount Kenya, Joe Musheru said that he supports Raila and they're working together when it comes to preparedness of this year's presidential elections. The big question is, should CSs be banned from attending these meetings? Because we're talking about transparency, we're talking about confidence in our electoral bodies, we're talking about confidence and trust in this year's elections. Should CSs be attending these meetings? You
know, I've heard people say they should not be engaged in politics. If a CS is not a politician, he must take a walk. He has to go home.
Okay.
Yeah. Cabinet secretary, this thing we borrowed from America, let's just call them ministers as we know them.
Yeah.
The minister represents the president. So how can he be a small president without being a politician? People did not understand this idea of picking people from outside parliament. Even in America where we borrowed from, ministers are politicians.
Okay.
Career civil servants who should not engage in politics, even in America, begin from assistant secretary or say maybe at the very highest undersecretary. Those are the people who are careers public servants, who should be non-partisan. But a secretary is a politician. Look at a secretary of state. Who is more of a politician than America's secretary of state? Who?
But the question
and even the law, that bars civil servants from engaging in politics exempts cabinet secretaries. Where are people reading this law?
But there's that question of trust, that question of trusting government institutions. When you see CS, his docket, the ICT docket, is going to play a major role in this year's elections. When you see someone like him going and saying that he supports and he's working with Raila Odinga, doesn't this lead to mistrust?
I think that was supporting Raila Odinga. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Matiang'i supported Uhuru Kenyatta. Raila and the rest made noise. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing wrong. But getting the infrastructure of government to assist a candidate is what is wrong.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
But even in America, ministers work with a president when he's seeking re-election. So,
what would you do?
And the debate has always been there.
Yeah.
How can you make Trump in 2020, Trump of 2016, and not Trump the president and is seeking re-election? How do you divorce him now that, okay, from now onwards, stop being the president of America until after the election? Is it possible? He remains the president with all the trappings of power, Air Force One and everything.
Do you think there should be a law that limits,
it will be very difficult.
Them from, let's say, just attending that, from saying what he said?
It will be very difficult. It's not practical.
If you're William Ruto and you hear someone saying he has no hesitation in supporting Raila Odinga's presidency,
you should not even talk because you supported Matiang'i and the rest. It was Matiang'i, Eugene Wamalwa, I can't remember the others, who supported Jubilee. And William Ruto was happy with that. He should not be the one to complain today. Let somebody else do it.
Okay.
Even in many countries, you see, the British model is different. Because the British civil service is different from other civil service or public service elsewhere in the world. And the party democracy in America, in the UK is quite different. You get it?
Yeah.
And all serve under the monarch. You get it?
Yeah.
But in this presidential system, such as ours and America, my friend, government will always have a hand in politics and in elections. Whether the president is seeking a re-election or they are supporting somebody.
When you listen to what ICT...
Kibaki didn't say it. But all state apparatus were there to support Jubilee.
He didn't say
from overlooking Mother Karua to appointing Uhuru Kenyatta to be deputy prime minister, to all the things that took place. The system was supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. And Kibaki merely didn't express himself. But neither did he stand in the way of the system supporting Jubilee in 2013. He didn't. Yes. So the system was all, it was all systems go for the system supporting Uhuru. So nobody should complain now.
When you look at what the CS said, he said one of his bosses is running for presidency.
Yes.
That's Deputy President William Ruto.
Yes.
How easy or difficult is it for the DP to get resources for transparency, to see what is happening so that there is no malpractice in this election? Because he's saying, I'm just an ICT person, but the Deputy President is running. So don't question me if the Deputy President is running and he can be able to see what I'm seeing. How easy or difficult is it for the Deputy President?
These are things that are easier said than done. That's why I keep saying this. This is a challenge. These are some of the issues that should preoccupy Kenyans when they take another look at their constitution.
Okay.
Unfortunately for this country, we are allergic to thinking. We are lazy. And we approach the easiest, the laziest approach to anything. When these things happen, we must sit down and ask ourselves, can we borrow something from the Westminster model of UK? The Canadian system, the Indian system, the American system. How can we handle this issue? Where the president and his ministers are directly involved in an election. Because it is unfair to the other party. Even Americans have argued. How can you run against a president with all these resources at his disposal? So we should also look at that and say, is it something we want to look at? Just like I'm saying, Kenyans, it is time you took a real look at the deputy president thing. I argue that to have somebody have a deputy he can't sack is not the way for an African country. We need to give the president the power to sack the president, but what he will need to do is to seek approval of cabinet.
Okay.
At least some approval of cabinet. Once cabinet approves, he can get rid of the deputy president, and then he can appoint another one. Because what Uhuru could have delivered, he has not delivered half of it because of this fight with Ruto. It will get uglier as we go on.
But if you put it as the cabinet, how can cabinet not approve their boss's wish to sack the deputy?
Then we would think if cabinet is working for Kenyans, then it's good enough.
When you look at the deputy president...
Or at the very worst cabinet, parliament. But I think, to me, for ease of doing it, it should be cabinet. Quickly, so that we can move and get a new administration in place. Speaking
of that, the deputy president comes out and says he will not resign. He said that, I think the day before yesterday, saying he will not resign. He said it dared even the president to tell him one thing that he has not done, that the president has asked of him. What do you think he hopes to achieve, staying in power until the end of
Ruto has been working on two things. The open defiance, first of all, makes him come out as a tough person. People want tough people. You know that, eh?
Yeah.
People want tough people.
The Trump
it's in human nature. So he achieves that by being defiant. That defiance also shows his people that Ruto has already taken the presidency, reducing Uhuru to a lame duck president. That's what he hopes to achieve. The other thing that does is to get sympathy. And he has gotten that in plenty. So it has worked for him. But I doubt that it will last. That party will not last.
Do you think it looks bad for Uhuru? Because now he's telling Kenyans, he's telling Uhuru, tell Kenyan people what I have not done. And then if you can find something, I may consider resigning. I think that's what he means.
But he has not done what he's supposed to do.
What hasn't he done?
To be loyal to the president. That's what a deputy president is supposed to be, loyal. If you can no longer be loyal, you walk out.
But some would say that is a minor issue. That's a non-issue, because if government...
We are not working with you if I'm the president. You are just a spare wheel in the boot in case something happened to me. But as we work, when I'm there, you are supposed to be loyal to me. Period. The moment you can no longer work with me, you have to resign. That is how it is done.
So do you think, because that would either tell us whether the DP has failed in his mandate as the deputy president, do you think over the past 5 years he has failed as Uhuru's second in command?
He has failed so bad, you cannot even give him a repeat exam. Loyalty, number one. Number two, loyalty. Number three, loyalty. The moment it's no longer tenable for you to work with your boss, you resign. It shows you are a man of integrity. It shows you are a man of principle. Because how will we trust you to run the country if you are not a man of integrity, a man of principles, a man who has values? Jaramogi Oginga resigned. By your own words, you are not working. Why are you spending Kenyan resources? Why are you earning a salary? Why are you driving taxpayers' cars? These are poor Kenyans who live in Korogosho and Kibra. They are fueling your vehicle and you are not working. You say you are not working. You say, I was elected there. No, you are elected to be the principal assistant to the president, to be loyal to him. The moment that's no longer possible, you step out.
Oh. Do you think it will all lead to that?
You have not done your duty.
It will all lead to him not working, but still as deputy president?
It's wrong. And you see, you ask him why he has not resigned. Of course, now resign. He could have resigned earlier.
Yeah.
He could have scored capital out of it. He would have said, Uhuru, when I serikali yako, I cannot be there when these bad things are taking place. Continue with your kina Raila. He would have scored big. But to be there, even if he resign now, it can't be. But there's always the danger. Between now and August, you wouldn't know the liability that will come your way as deputy president.
The liability?
Yes. You wouldn't know what the other side can do.
Oh. That's
so that being there becomes, you say, I wish I had left. You would not know. Because let me tell you, the presidency has enormous powers and resources. The only reason why they may not hit at you directly is you'll get more sympathy that will now work against them.
Do you think that's why he wants to cling to that position?
But there are things they can do because of that power they have, and you'll wish you had left. So if I were him, I would have left.
Is there really anything he can do? Because if he stepped out and it was just an ordinary mwananchi, then things might, the government might do things like removing security detail. These are things that they can do. But if he stays there, I doubt there's something the government can do to him.
Let me tell you, because he's a presidential candidate, especially after nomination, the state will owe him security.
Okay.
Just as they will owe all those other wannabes. Because you know, if one of them died, a presidential candidate or the running mate, then the elections are cancelled and done at a later date. Secondly, Mudavadi has serious security. Kalonzo has security. So the security will still get, whether you are vice president or you have left. So I don't think security is the issue.
So what one would probably think that the ICT CS is right to say that the deputy president might stay there because he knows what is happening within the government. Could that be the reason?
It is yes and no. Yes, because as a deputy president, there are things that you must get to know as a matter of routine, whether somebody likes it or not. But again, because government is not run in the boardroom or in the public.
You say
there are many things you will not know. So it depends on how you look at it.
So at the end of this, at the end of it all, you think he's losing staying in government?
I think the person that comes out, and you must give me 2 seconds to explain this. I have explained this bit, and many Kenyans have questioned me sometimes when we are taking Uji. You see, people more or less already know who they are voting for. The deciding number that will decide whether it's Raila or Ruto is made up of individuals, a certain percentage of individuals. And within that percentage, there is a percentage that works with logic and reason and rationale. They are rational people. They see things and they question. They may not be many in absolute terms, but they also have influence. So people are saying, what kind of person are you coming out? as you continue to bash government and Uhuru Kenyatta, people are seeing a certain image of you they are not comfortable with. And they cannot trust that that person can be president of the Republic of Kenya.
So you say image will play a big role?
Big role.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's political conversation. My name is Jadel Kabira. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't come automatically, as I usually say. You have to click the red button, click the notification bell so that once a new video comes up, you become the first one to view it. Until we do have these conversations again, bye for now.